Peace and blessings to the family. It's me, Coach 67 Sports TV. Shout out to the awesome and amazing LDBC, Lions Den Broadcasting Community. Shout out to Louisiana All American Sports Network. Shout out to Envision Photography and Video. We got some big coming up for the spring. And shout out to the greatest university in the world, the Southern University, home of the mighty Jaguars. Welcome to the Tailgate Party, Season 1, Episode 25. This is the season finale for the Tailgate Party. Southern University releases their 2026 football schedule. We're going to talk about the schedule. We're going to break down the games, game by game, so on and so forth. Let's see who we have in the building. You dig? First, starting off with the family, relaxing, calming rain. Said, salute Coach 67, chat, HBCU family, and Jaguar Nation. Man, salute to you, relaxing, calming rain. All right, scrolling up. He said, I wouldn't be happy with this schedule in year 2 or 3 under Falk, but it's a good start. Yeah, I agree with you. Essentially, Jay Good, man, salute to my brother. Like, he not big on like the game with Kentucky State, but at least they made it to the D2 playoffs. Neither he nor I is big on a Louisiana Christian game, but you should have played them for homecoming. If you're gonna play them, you're gonna play a school like that. You got to play a school like that for homecoming. You don't play a school like that. Just I know it's after the Houston game, but nevertheless, that should be a homecoming type game in my opinion. And it is what it is. Relaxing, calming rain says season. Yes, this is the last episode of season 1 of the Tailgate Party. However, next week I'm gonna have a live stream, but it's gonna be a different show, and I'm gonna let the fans determine what's gonna be the name of the show. Uh, Either they're gonna be in the community section of my YouTube channel, or it's gonna be in the Southern University Facebook that we have. Go Jags. Yes, sir. Man, salute to relaxing, calming rain. Man, I don't know. Like it's lagging a little bit tonight, but it is what it is. Uh Scroll. Oh, let's scroll. All right. Man, motivation to be a millionaire in the building. He said, salute Coach 67, chat, HBCU family, and Jaguar Nation. Man, salute to your motivation to be a millionaire. Motivation to be a millionaire said, I'm not here to complain about the schedule. I just can't wait to the start of the season. Yeah, not just you, but a lot of other people are saying the same thing. Like, they're excited about the recruiting class. Of course, y'all already know I'm going to have a live stream probably about Friday, breaking down the recruiting class. But, a lot of people ready for, even if it's just spring game, they're ready for some Southern University football. Southern has some big road challenges and a few H-Town games. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I was surprised that they have 3 games in Houston. But it is what it is, you know what I'm saying? Man, I don't know why it's not moving. All right, here we go. And motivation to be a millionaire Said, go Jags. Yes, sir. Salute to your motivation to be a millionaire. Yeah, the stream lagging big time tonight. Time to be men. Salute to you. Say, what's up, Jaguar Nation? Man, salute to you. Time to be men. 7465. Salute to you, fam. Man, salute to your boy, Jay. SU in the building. He said, salute, coach. Go Jags. Yes, sir. Salute to you, your boy, Jay. SU. Time to be men said, I don't like the schedule due to the strength of it. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I think relaxing, calm, and rain kind of alluded to that earlier. That's what he was saying. He was saying like he wouldn't be content. Year 2 or 3 under fault, he wouldn't be content with that caliber schedule either. However, the fact that it's year 1, so I guess he really wasn't tripping off it. But fans have kind of been complaining about their respective team schedule. Like, I've seen like a lot of G complaining about like they're not being as strong as they should. In addition to that, the fact that they didn't have 12 games, whatever the case may be. And then, of course, you got other fans like, look, either come to the game, stay home, or shut the F up. And I'm like, dang, y'all talking to your own fan base like this? Like, what are we doing? Like, they support y'all team the same y'all do, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, man, that's crazy, you know? But you got fans telling other fans, like, hey, hey, either support the team or shut the F up. And I'm like, dang, bro, it is what it is. Yeah, your boy Jay said Christian game is the only game I have a problem with. Like us, like the whole keep it a buck. He really he used to like the games that he knew Southern was gonna win. And truthfully speaking, like my nephew kind of like that now, you know what I'm saying? Like I remember when Southern was playing against Florida Memorial. And man, Southern just was beating the brakes off of them. And it's raining out there a little bit. Like, I'm ready to go home. I'm like, all right, we gone. And I'm like, come on, buddy, let's go. He was like, no, I want to stay. And I'm like, bro, the game is 56-0. He said, that's all right, I won't stay. I'm like, oh my goodness. I'm like, nephew, sure? He's like, no, Uncle Jim, I want to stay. I'm like, oh, bro. Man, that game ended up being 86-0. And I'm like, bro, what are we doing? So I'm like, boy, you just like your grandfather. The game Southern winning? Oh, I'm not going to lie. There are a lot of nights. Southern blowing teams out. Southern playing against Lincoln. They playing against Allen in the Pete Richardson Classic games. And, like Southern beating the brakes off him. But nah, he didn't care. Senior wanted to stay. He didn't just want to stay to the end of the game. Like, he wanted to stay until they damn near, not damn near, they turn out the stadium lights and all the way to the end of the 5th quarter. And I'm like, hey, I ain't gonna lie, that's one thing I don't miss. Hey, I used to sing you the life, but guess what? I don't know, bro. When it's time to go, it's time to go. Not only that, once we're the van, he wanted all the traffic clear before we leave. I'm like, God, dog, bro. We done been up here since early this morning. We staying up here for like 2 hours after the game. Oh no, he didn't want to go. Dragon Unite DTM. He said, Jake, I don't know what that is. But salute to you. Like she moving slow tonight. I don't know what's going on with her. Russell Smith, he said, salute to you, coach, and Jaguar Nation. Man, salute to. Oh, man, this thing tripping. Man, salute to Russell Smith. Say salute to you, coach, and Jaguar Nation. Salute to your family. Man, I might switch device. This thing is lagging and dragging like crazy. Uh, your boy Jay said, hold on. Yeah, I'm good, fam. Had some technical issues. Two of the devices were acting up. I don't know if it was StreamYard or the device, but I switched to a third device, the newest phone I got, the computer and the old iPhone tripping. But it is what it is. Time to be men. He said, "Man, are you there?" Yeah, I'm here. I just was having issues trying to get the get in, log in, all kind of other stuff. But it is what it is. But we got it back up and running. But basically, what I was saying in terms of the schedule, I think Southern this particular season coming up, 2026. I think Southern University is. I think they're gonna do better than I predict them to do. You know, I predicted them to win maybe about 500, maybe win about 7 games. The way things looking early, I don't want to jump out there and say nothing over the top like, hey, they're gonna win the Celebration Bowl. I don't think it's outside the realm of possibility, but I don't want to put too great expectations on them right out the gate. You know what I'm saying? But even with that being said, I think they're gonna do pretty good. But I think more than anything, the thing they lacking, based on what I'm seeing them from a recruit standpoint, I think Coach Falk and staff have recruited well. You know, they got some offensive linemen. They loaded at running back. They're constantly getting players that I think fit into their system. And then in addition to that, from a speed standpoint, they have a lot of speed from what I'm seeing. So I think they have a all around good team. They got a lot of young incoming quarterbacks. So they got everything on lock from wide receivers, running backs, offensive linemen. I think the only thing they really missing offensively is an experienced elite level quarterback. And then I think you throw to the defensive side. You know, they got some defensive linemen. They got some linebackers. They got players that can play in the secondary. And I think they've got a pretty good team. In addition to that, offensively, it looks like, they're getting players that really fit into the go-go offense. Defensively, like they got some good players. You got your good return guy that could kind of be on the same level of a Fred Bailey, of a Kenyatta Sparks, of a Willie Quinn, Israel Landry, Danny Johnson. So, I mean, it seems like they got everything. I think the one key thing they're missing, even though I think based on everything I'm seeing, I think they're gonna be straight regardless. But I'm talking about that elite level experienced quarterback. I'm talking about a guy that's a junior that right off the rip, that's gonna be like SWAC offensive player of the year. You know, he said if we get the chemistry together with the scheme, I believe we can go to the Celebration Bowl. Yeah, I think it's a possibility. Uh, Time to be men. 74-65. I believe the quarterback that is coming can do the job. If we get it together in the trenches, we will win. No, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be honest with you. Especially on the offensive line, you know, I think they got an offensive lineman from like Boise State, and they got another offensive lineman coming from Arkansas. What? He was at Arkansas State last. So I think the offensive line play gonna be straight. They got a lot of players on defense. Now, some of these players on defense, I think they got a couple real good, active, aggressive defensive linemen up front. But I think the major thing about it is schematically, are they gonna kind of stick with the trend of like the Kelby Givens, Jordan Lewis type defensive ends, or are they gonna deviate from that and get guys that really kind of go against that mold? From what I'm seeing, I think more than anything, they really kind of going more with. Seems like they're going more with the most talented guys they can find. that fit into their system. Mr. Jag, 1623, salute to you, fam. He said salute to you and to the fam. Coach, man, salute to your family. Man, I appreciate y'all coming through for sure. But yeah, but I think more than anything, I think the schedule, like, a couple of the brothers said earlier, I think year one, I think Coach Falk really trying to get his feet wet and get off on the right note. I'm not mad with the schedule. I think the Louisiana Christian game, that should have been a homecoming game, but you got Pine Bluff for homecoming. If you get back to being what you've been, yeah, I think you should take care of Pine Bluff for homecoming. So I'm not mad at that game for homecoming. I think that's a good solid opponent for homecoming. But realistically, I think you could swap the Louisiana Christian game with the Pine Bluff game, and I think you'll be straight. But either way, I really think this season is going to be a pretty good season, in my personal opinion. Like, they have all the tools to get where they need to go to do what they need to do. So it's just going to be interesting to see how things unfold, how things come together. But, overall, between the schedule and some of the players they bringing in, and like I said, this is the season finale for the Tailgate Party, season 1, episode 25. But on Thursday on my brother channel, Jared Love and Green channel, we are going to do a National Signing Day episode. And on Friday, I'm going to do a National Signing Day episode exclusive for Southern University, going through player by player. Now, on HBCU Fanatics, we probably not going to, we're going to touch on a few different teams, a handful of teams in the HBCU realm. But when it comes to Southern specifically, I'm going to go, player by player like I did last year. Now, last year, I'm not going to lie, National Signing Day had me fooled. I really thought, yeah, hey, this is a good recruiting class. It really didn't pan out, at least on the field anyway. But right now, it seems like sky's the limit. Time to be men, 74-65. He said we need the defensive line that can create a new line of scrimmage. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna be honest with you. Some of these guys, from a talent standpoint, I think from a versatility standpoint, I saw this one linebacker. Like, this linebacker is big. So I'm wondering, is he going to play linebacker or is he going to play defensive end? But the guys that I've seen in terms of the defense that they're bringing in guys that make plays in the backfield the way Kelby Givens did. In terms of, like you said, creating a new line of scrimmage. These guys seem to be active and aggressive. So I'm not going to lie, everything I'm seeing from a defensive standpoint in terms of the players they brought in defensively, they did well. And the thing I like is, it seemed like from a team speed standpoint, like the team speed is going to be much greater than it's been the last few years. Well, I'm going to say the last couple of years for sure. Team speed, especially this past season, if you take away Cameron McCoy and you take away Trey Holly, like, team speed was nothing to really write home about. But a lot of players they bringing in now, especially these players from Washington, I'm not gonna lie, I like the speed I'm seeing in terms of from a team speed perspective. Your boy Jay said the two best and fastest players in all Louisiana just committed yesterday. One was Warwick Dunn finalist. The future is bright. Oh, without question, your boy Jay. In fact, I just was talking about the same player you referring to. I mean, from a speed standpoint, I like what I'm seeing. And the thing about it is, the one little shifted running back. I wonder if they're gonna play him more at running back, or they gonna use him more in the slot. Is he gonna do a combination of those two things? Is he also gonna be able to return punts and kicks? So it's gonna be interesting to see how they use some of these players, what positions they put them in, how they use them. To me, my only question is if you don't get that elite level quarterback that I covet, and when I say elite level quarterback, I'm not just talking about just elite level quarterback, just from a talent standpoint. I'm talking about somebody that's an experienced guy. Even if somebody has like a year or two of eligibility, that guy that's gonna hold it down until you transition to one of these young cats, like Ted Young, or one of these young guys. I mean, even Dylan Compton, like, how is he gonna look? Is he gonna get to play? So on and so forth. So, like you say, I think the sky's the limit. I think that this team, man, this team doing big things. And I mean, I honestly believe everything is looking up in terms of Jaguar Nation, in terms of, what it's going to look like this coming season. So, but back to the schedule component of it. I really think, the schedule is a good schedule from the standpoint of this is Coach Falk's first season. He really trying to start off things on the right note, get things going on the right foot. So I honestly believe that this schedule, even though it really don't light the world on fire, I think for a first season, I think it's a good schedule. But more than anything, I'm really interested to see. Excuse me. I'm really interested to see how things play out in the long run in terms of, once you get beyond this first season and we see, what your team looks like from a chemistry and continuity standpoint. Once you establish an identity in terms of your go-go offense, in terms of the defense, the style of play you want to play, are you going to be a physical, aggressive team up front on both sides of the ball? How much team speed are you going to have? Once you establish an identity, then that second year you could say, all right, hey, not in terms of the quality of your schedule, in terms of how tough the schedule is, the quality of opponents you play, you can start to move the needle and play better level of competition once you really get things going and once you establish an identity. Time to be minted. I believe that freshman quarterback is going to surprise y'all on how good he really is. The one from Lawrence. Oh, yeah, you talking about Ted Young. I was looking at him. They interviewed him. I can't think of what podcast they interviewed him on, but they interviewed him. He took pictures in his Southern University uniform, took pictures with his parents. He's very bright, a very intelligent young man. He seems like he has a good head on his shoulders. And I think the sky's the limit for him. Also, the kid from Kentucky, the Littmer kid, I think the two of them really gonna do big things. I think the main issue you're gonna have is the same issue that you had when you had Jalen Woods and ZT Set. If you got two talented players of the same classification, if one outshines the other, at some point, the other one is probably gonna walk. So I think more than anything, I think this first year, I think it seems like from a recruit standpoint, Coach Falk and his staff has recruited well. They've laid a solid foundation in terms of what to expect from this first season. But from a player retention standpoint, how much turnover is he going to have going into that second season? How many of these players are you going to be able to retain? And in addition to that, not only how many of these players are you going to be able to retain, but the players that don't fit into your system, the incumbent players that's already there, how many of those players are going to move on after this first season under Falk? So it's going to be interesting to see, Your boy Jay said the bar is 7 wins. but they can honestly win 9 games if the team is really good. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I think, I said you got 12 games. I think right now the bar is 6 or 7 games. I think me and you are, in step in terms of the expectation going into this first season under Coach Falk. But from a talent standpoint, I think the ceiling is probably 9 wins for this particular team. Maybe a SWAC championship game, but at this point, I think a SWAC championship game, you won't go even beyond that. You know what I'm saying? Time to be men. Say, where's my boy Cook? I'm sure he gonna drop in later on. If he don't drop in right now, he probably is going to. He probably gonna catch the playback. But yeah, salute to Adrian Cook. You know what I'm saying? On the season finale, the Tailgate Party, your boy Jay said Coach Falk's son is running a media page to showcase Southern, just like Coach Prime's son is doing. Seeing the team doing winter workouts is refreshing. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be honest with you. Me and Jay Good talk about this all the time. Basically, I think the fact that from a social media presence standpoint, the fact that Southern hasn't advanced where they should be, I think it's kind of opened the door for individuals like myself and Carlos Brown and Perry White and C. Wells. I think that's the reason why each of our respective platforms is doing what it's doing from the standpoint of servicing Jaguar Nation, and myself, I definitely would like to talk more about basketball also because not only was I a middle school head football coach, but I was also a basketball coach. But truthfully speaking, unless I kind of insert basketball into the football conversations, for whatever reason, I can't speak to Perry White. I can't speak to Carlos Brown. I can't speak to C. Wells. But my fan base, they want football 24/7, 365, you know what I'm saying? And I ain't even mad about it, you know what I'm saying? Time to be men say I would not go anywhere. If I was one of those players, I would not leave on my own because I will still get my degree. Well, this is the thing about it, time to be men. I'm gonna keep it above. Some of these players that were on the roster last year, I mean, Coach Falk is bringing in a lot of players for this upcoming season. Some of those players not gonna make the cut next year. So yeah, you wouldn't want voluntarily leave, but I hate to say it, some of the players that was on the roster this past season, that's gonna be on the roster this coming season, unless they step their game up, unless the talent is there, unless they learn, unless they're developed, unless they progress to the next level and transition to bigger and better things. Some of these players might not be there moving forward, you know what I'm saying? Man, salute to my brother Jay Good. Just was talking about you not too long ago, especially with when we talk about he and I. We have a lot of conversations behind the scenes. A lot of things I talk about during my live streams here on my channel and on HBCU Fanatics with my brother Jared Levin Green. He's kind of like the third unofficial member of HBCU Fanatics and the second unofficial member of this particular channel in terms of a lot of conversations I have, doing these live streams are conversations that he and I have behind the scenes, via text messages and just, talking about, certain things. Your boy Jay said we are on pace for 50 plus players signed on signing day. I'm starting to think some players left we don't know about. Well, I think the main thing about it is it seems like from a talent standpoint, not seems like. Well, I'm gonna say seems like because on paper, it seems like the talent is so much greater than what Coach Graves was bringing in. So it's gonna be interesting to see how many of these players like flip their commitment and go elsewhere, and how many players Coach Falk and staff flip their commitment from somewhere else to Southern. And not only that, but there were 2 quarterbacks from Sacramento State. One of them committed to an SEC school, but I think the other one is still out there. are they going to be able to get that second Sacramento State quarterback? I think if they could get him, he already knows the offense. You know, he coming from Sac State. That guy might be your starting quarterback, even though I think the true freshmen, both of them sure they have a lot of talent. Your boy Jay said we will be live for signing day on Wednesday. In fact, initially I said no, because you know the last year for National Signing Day, I went live that next day. But your boy Jay, either I'm gonna be live Wednesday, I'm gonna be live Thursday. Well, not Thursday, because Thursday is HBCU Fanatics. So either I'm gonna be live on Wednesday or live on Friday. One of those 2 days, your boy Jay. So I'm gonna put the link up. I don't know which day I'm really gonna do. Honestly, I'm leaning towards Friday though. Time to be man said, I wonder if some of these players followed him from Colorado. Initially, your boy Jay and myself, we were kind of saying the same thing. We felt like he was gonna get some of the players from Colorado, but to my surprise, I didn't see any Colorado players commit to Southern. I mean, unless he has a couple of them that we're going to see either on tomorrow or on National Signing Day. I haven't seen one player from Colorado commit to Southern University, which was a shock to me. I was under the impression that, you know, at least maybe a handful of the linemen would have been willing to come to Southern, and maybe a quarterback or two, some skilled players. But the Crosby kid from Texas A&M, you know, because initially when I was told, oh, a running back gonna come from Texas A&M, oh, I'm like, oh, Le'Veon Moss. It wasn't Moss, because you know he went to Struma, but it was a Crosby kid. But you know, somebody sent me footage of him behind the scenes, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm impressed with what I see. I think Holly's still your number one guy, but I think you got Crosby, you got Remo. The running back room is extremely deep, and they constantly add talent. And like I said, that's the thing I'm impressed with is the team speed I'm seeing, even though I haven't seen them collectively as a team yet, not even in the spring game, but I'm seeing a lot more speed than I've seen the last couple of years, you know what I'm saying? Your boy JC, I don't know when the last time Southern football has had this many signees. Graves barely had 15 last year. Yeah. And I'm not gonna lie, the crazy thing that kind of aggravated me looking back at it, I really kind of was initially, I'm like, all right, it seemed like Graves had a solid team in terms of the recruits he brought in last year, a year ago. And to see what the production was on the field. And don't get me wrong, I know he always used that excuse from the standpoint of, you know, he had a lot of injuries. Don't get me wrong, there are a lot of injuries, but the fact that you did such a poor job recruiting, you didn't have the kind of depth you needed. You didn't replace the players that was on that team that lost in the SWAC championship game against Jackson State, and in all actuality, this roster this past season had more holes than Swiss cheese, and it seems like Coach Falk filled so many of those holes in terms of like areas of need in all three facets of the game, you know. So I think he's done an excellent job. Tyler B. Men say, what if they are keeping that a secret? I think that's the thing about it, your boy G. I mean, Tyler B. Men. I think that's a valid point from the perspective of, you know, your boy Jay and Adrian Crook and a few other people have said this in the chat. You know, after the Zion Chris situation, I think they probably kept a couple players on ice. So I think come Wednesday, we can see a couple players that really haven't showcased, hey, I committed to Southern, you know, because I guess you don't want those players to be flipped by bigger schools. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I think they probably have a couple players that they have on ice, they have under wraps, that they have on lock. So at the end of the day, I think that's a strong possibility, and I think that's a real day. I think that's a real thing. But in terms of, National Signing Day, yeah, either I'm gonna drop something on. I'm gonna go live on Wednesday, or I'm gonna go live on Friday. Right now, I'm leaning towards Friday because, uh, we definitely doing HBCU Fanatics on Thursday on my brother Jared Love Green channel. Uh, your boy Jay say, Coach, what's your thoughts on the 3-star tight end flipping his commit from Virginia Tech to Southern? That was huge. That kid is 6'6". Oh, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think he's kind of like Dupree Fuller to the second power. The kid is big. That was a huge hit. And the crazy thing about it is, we talk about the spotlight that Coach Falk has brought to Southern University. I've seen that your boy Jay on a few different bigger platforms, in the fact that it's brought like a little bit of national attention to Southern in terms of that player alone. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, the fact that they was able to flip him, I think that kid is gonna be a real weapon, especially if you could get him a quarterback that could get him the ball. This one thing that Jay Good was telling me behind the scenes. I remember when Southern played against, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was either it was Texas Southern or FAMU. I want to say it's one of those two games. He was like, man, imagine if Dupree Fuller like played for Alabama State and he had somebody like Andrew Body getting him the ball, and he said the same thing about Darren Mars or whatever. We were saying that Darren Mars is a good wide receiver, but not comparing him to this past season wide receivers like his teammates. Like if we compared him to like guys of the past like Michael Hayes and Jamarius Stewart and Gerard Landry and James Vernon and Alfred Ard and Chris Davis and Lee Dawes, if you put him up against some heavy hitters like that, even though I think from a talent standpoint, he flashed at times during the season. He was, in my opinion, he was clearly Southern's number one receiver. But if you had to put him on some of them teams in the 90s or the 2000s, no disrespect to Darren Mars, I think Darren Mars would have been a number 3 receiver, truthfully speaking. Because, even when we look at him and Chandler Whitfield, like a few years ago, when you had Jalen Howard and you had August Petrie III and you had Cassius Allen, you had those guys, truthfully speaking, Whitfield was like the 4th receiver at times, and Mars was clearly your 5th receiver no matter how you shuffled it. But if you'd have put him and you'd have put Dupree Fuller on Alabama State team and you put the two of them, how would they have been able to operate had they had a quarterback that really could get them the ball? It would have been interesting to see, especially Dupree Fuller and Darren Morris, how they'd have fared if you'd have put them on Alabama State team. So it's going to be interesting to see how, if you go with the young guys at quarterback, or even if you go with a guy like Dylan Compton at quarterback, how they going to do, not just from a running standpoint, but from a passing standpoint. And especially when you got a huge target like that at tight end, man, it makes your life a whole lot easier as a quarterback, And Time to Beat Men 7465 said, he said that's Wednesday, right? Yeah. National Signing Day is Wednesday, February the 4th. Today is February the 2nd. So Wednesday, February the 4th is National Signing Day. So at this point, you got a couple days until National Signing Day. So, we definitely gonna see. Your boy Jay said, if Darren Morris stayed, we would have the best wide receiver core. The 3 stars from Louisiana Tech and ULL will complement him well. And that's the thing about it, that's what Jay Good was saying. He was like, some people talk about somebody like Altravian Jobert or whatever was saying like, Altravian Jobert was a good receiver, but he couldn't have been a number 1 guy. I'm like, but guess what? I don't care what nobody say. He was a hell of a number 3. He was an excellent compliment to Michael Hayes and to Devin Lewis. And I think if you to put Darren Morris in a position like that, where you had him alongside Michael Hayes and a Devin Lewis, I think that probably would have been a role best for him in terms of him being able to thrive and be successful. And that's the thing about it. That's part of the reason why you really couldn't double Mike Hayes and Devin Lewis. You couldn't double Mike Hayes because Devin Lewis on the other side. And even if you did take away the two of them, you had Altrivian as your bet in the slot doing damage. And I think if you'd have had Dan Morris next to two receivers of that caliber, oh, he could have did real damage, especially with a quarterback that could get him the ball. And I think the same thing you saying is we kind of saying the same thing, we just phrasing it differently. Yeah, if you'd have put those two guys next to Dan Morris, oh yeah, I think we definitely would have had the best wide receiver core in the SWAC, in my personal opinion. CB Scott 306, salute to your family. He said, I was hoping we could grab Teron Dickens from West Carolina over a Cardell Williams from Sacramento State. He said, that's me wishing though. Yeah, and I can't think of the quarterback name. Shucks. I can't think of this quarterback name that Jay Good sent me. Hold on. Let me check real quick. Yeah, in fact, man, StreamYard tripping tonight. I thought it was my device. It ain't my device, it's StreamYard. But anyway, Southern did just pick up another a linebacker from I think his name Chad Johnson, something like that. So yeah, Southern they constantly adding linebackers. And I think the quarterback I was talking about from South Carolina State, I think his name Billy Atkins. I think he was on Southern's radar also. I don't know if Southern gonna be to get him, but hey, I think even if they don't get that experience, veteran guy that I really covet, I really think, I really think from a recruit standpoint, I think Coach Falk has done well. But if you get that experienced guy, man, I think you're doing damage. You know what I'm saying? You'll be doing even more damage. Your boy Jay said, SU men have beaten Jackson State 96-91. Man, salute to men's head basketball coach Kevin Johnson in the Southern University Jaguar men basketball team for beating them. Time to be men say, I hope all Jaguar platforms go live to show up for the fan base and to get them excited about what they see and hear. Oh, I can tell you right now, time to be men. I'm going live. It just kind of depends on what day it is, whether it's going to be Wednesday, whether it's going to be Friday. Usually, I like to go live the day after. The only reason why I wouldn't go live on Thursday is because I'm going to be on my brother platform on HBCU Fanatics. You know, he he helped me build that platform a little bit on this channel. But, since I cater primarily to Jaguar Nation, I felt like it would have been better on his channel. So that's why we pivoted and we put that show on his platform, because that way, when we go live, we could talk, but HBCU football and SWAC football more from a balance perspective. Because I know on this side, I'm going to keep it a buck. I'm Jaguar Nation all day, and I don't even hide it. You know what I'm saying? So, I still talk heavily about Southern on his platform also, but it's more of a balance perspective, whereas here is 100% SU heavy. You know what I'm saying? Time to be men say, I read that already. Time to be men say 96-91. He said they let JSU come back like that. He said I turned it off at 62-45. Well, the main thing I'm worried about is that they got the dub. You know what I'm saying? Your boy Jay said, yeah, Chad Jones' dad was a first-round pick in the NFL in 2010. All right. Yeah, he a St. All player. Salute to him. Another one we bringing in the fold. You know what I'm saying? Your boy Jay said this the most excited I've been about signing day ever. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Coach Falk and staff did his thing. Like I said, I think the only thing that kind of be the icing on the cake is if they could get that elite level veteran guy, that experienced guy, whether that's a guy coming from a Power 4 or a guy coming from a lower level FBS team. I think if you get that guy in the building to complement all the quarterbacks and all the talent you have, I think that'll pretty much be the icing on the cake. But I'm getting ready to shut it down. This is the season finale for the Tailgate Party, Season 1, Episode 25. But never fret or fear. I'm getting ready to drop a new show, because I'm going to pretty much use the Tailgate Party for, the regular season. And since we're in the off season, I'm going to transition to another show. But this is what I'm going to do in terms of me transitioning to another show. Of course, I'm making it clear that either on Wednesday or on Friday, I'm going to do a National Signing Day live stream. But one thing I'm going to also do, I'm going to put it in the comment section, in addition to the comment section, in the community section of my channel here on this channel. I'm going to put the suggestions for the name of the new show. I'm going to let Jaguar Nation decide what the name of the new show going to be. So in our Southern University Facebook group, I'm going to post the potential names. Whatever name y'all vote on, that's what I'm going to choose. I'm going to do it also in a comment section of this live stream and on the community tab of this YouTube channel. So look out for it. Please like the video, share, comment in the comment section, subscribe to the channel. Also, hype the live stream. That's a new feature that YouTube has. Don't just like it and hype it up, so we can get more traction, more eyes to the platform. Also, in the live stream chat, and once the live stream ends in the comment section, I also have the link to our Southern University Facebook group. So, like I said, once more again, be certain to like this live stream, hype this live stream, comment in the comment section. Tell me what you think of Southern University's 2026 football schedule, in addition to what you think of Southern University's 2026 football schedule, what you think of the recruiting class so far, and lastly, what you think the name for the new show should be. So put all of that in the comment section after the live stream ends. I appreciate everybody that's really been rocking with the channel. I got something big coming for the spring, because I'm trying to grow the platform. I'm trying to expand the reach. This project that I got coming up in the spring, I'm just letting y'all know now. I need Jaguar Nation to really support it and get behind it, because we don't have a whole bunch of content creators when it comes to Southern University. So I'm going to need y'all to support this project coming up in the spring in a major way. Myself and Envision, photography and video, we getting together to do something big. But I appreciate everybody that came through, showed love. Your boy Jay, Time to Be Men, CB Scott, 306. Who else? My brother Jay Good, Mr. Jag, 1623, Relaxing, Calming Rain, Motivation to Be a Millionaire. Dragon Unite DTM, Russell Smith, man, my brother Casio Odell, my brother Jared Levin Green, just everybody that came through, support the live stream. Everybody that's gonna watch it on playback. All my day one subscribers, all of the new subscribers, man, I appreciate everybody just coming through, showing love, supporting the channel. And like I say, got a new show coming up. In the comment section, tell me what you think the name of the new show should be, or primarily in the community section of this live stream and in our Southern University Facebook group. I'm gonna post the potential names for the next show. But in the comment section, put what you think of Southern University 2026 schedule, and in addition to the what you think about Southern University 2026 schedule, what you think of the recruiting class so far. Again, Thursday on my brother Jared Levin Green channel, we are going to do HBCU Fanatics on Thursday, National Signing Day special. But I appreciate everybody coming through, showing love. Everybody's going to catch it on playback. Y'all have a blessed, phenomenal evening. Have a blessed work day tomorrow. Peace and blessing to the family. And go Jags, you dig. Who? All right, in fact, let's back up. CB Scott, man, salute to you. He sent a $10 super sticker. Man, I appreciate you. CB Scott 306 sent the $10 super sticker. Man, I appreciate your family to the fullest. In fact, I'm gonna just let that sit there for a minute. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna keep it going a little bit more since we got CB Scott 306 that decided to show some love. Man, I appreciate it to the fullest. And like I said, in fact, I forgot to mention this. I got a video that's gonna come up also, talking about the human jukebox. So, tell me what y'all think in regards to this next little conversation I'm gonna drop on Wednesday. In fact, this is how I'm gonna do it, so we don't have to misunderstand. I got a video, Southern University human jukebox video that's gonna drop on Wednesday, and on Friday, I'm gonna do. On Friday, I'm gonna do the on Friday, I'm gonna do the National Signing Day live stream. I'm dropping the video on Wednesday, so we could do that. In fact, time to be men. Speaking of Adrian Crook he has just entered the building. Man, salute to you, Adrian Crook. What's good? Well, what's good, Adrian? First of all, I'm blessed and highly favored. I can't complain, Adrian Crook. For the most part, on this live stream, before we ended, we was talking about Southern University 2026 schedule in terms of, some people complaining about the strength of schedule. But for the most part, my perspective is this is Coach Falk's first year. I'm cool with it. It's cool to get out. More than anything, it's going to be good for him to start his first year on the right note with this type of schedule. So I wasn't mad with the quality of the schedule. We talked about the recruiting class thus far, Adrian Crook. And lastly, we talked about National Signing Day on Wednesday. So for the most part, that's pretty much, all, we pretty much been talking about on this particular live stream. So those pretty much were the topics. He said FD cupcakes. Yeah, and that's one thing about Adrian Crook. He consistent about putting his foot on JSU neck, and not just here on my platform, but all the content creators in the space. He he putting his foot on their neck in terms of he going all these different platforms, whether it's the Jackson State platform or just SWAC football talk platforms. He going all over the place. He putting his foot on their neck. And then, he constantly giving it to JSU and their fan base. I definitely appreciate somebody like Adrian Crook to the fullest. Always standing 10 toes on Jaguar business. Salute to you, Adrian Crook. And major shout out one more time to CB Scott 306. Appreciate your fam showing love. But that's it for this live stream. I'm going to catch y'all on a rebound. Y'all have a blessed, phenomenal evening. Peace and blessings. And go Jags, you dig?